Okay, I got some tracing paper. Oh, I don't think you can see it. Can you see that now? Let me see. Okay, cool. What I have here is some tracing paper that I'm using because let me take this tape off. You can see without moving the rest of my paper. It's still intact here, so okay. This is what I got so far, and these two pieces just inspired me to go ahead and a lot of artists that I follow who do the female form, very figurative work. Some of them do these elaborate totems in the hair. It almost looks like a totem pole, but totem like in the hair though. And or some of them look even like headdress. So to keep in this, it just kept, I don't know, it just kept speaking to me like horns. So I see some of the trend, or I guess if you want to call it, but the art is, tentacles or horns or tree branches coming out of their hair. And I did one for my mom a couple of years back with the tree branch coming out of her head. And I did one that kind of reminded me of the Avatar a long time ago. But now that my work is a little more surrealistic, not so much whimsy, I like the more realistic look of trees, actually like a real, landscape and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, also going in with the morphed theme, I guess you want to call it. Like when I did the half woman, half bee, I just like the idea of this kind of maybe even insinuating she's something other than human. So, I'm going to paint, some trindles and curls here. So I just kind of wanted to see how that would look. And also some coming down her neck. It'll be curls throughout her whole head, kind of highlighting the color in there as well. But these horns just kept saying, it needs the horns, it needs the horns. Mainly because of the way I did these two brush strokes here. So that's where that came from. So without committing, I said, well, let me just get some tracing paper and kind of give it a glimpse of what it would look like. And here's where we wound up. And I liked it. So, also added a butterfly there. And there'll be more curls, maybe even a few flowers. But mainly I just wanted to get those horns placed exactly where I have them here. So this is a fairly large piece of tracing paper. This is the, let's see, 50 sheets of the 11 by 14. I had a pad that had the 9 by 12, but I don't know what I did with it. So I didn't need one this big. One this size would have been fine. But, oh well. So I'm going to get some two-sided tape here. And this is me loosening up as an artist. And here I am still, as I go, still being very methodical. I'm just sticking it right there at the top. And I'm not doing so much tracing that I can't use this paper again. And I'm just going to slide it right there. And there we go. And other side. See if we can get it off without losing or tearing the paper. Cool, it worked. But this is my main focus, is the horn. So, yeah, look at that. Oh well, it's too late. I stuck it there already. I wanted to come down a bit on the hairline and just mess with that a bit, but that's okay. Okay, here we are. Now, to keep this paper from shifting and messing up, I'm just going to tape that part there along with that. And one more piece. This is just tape that will come off of paper without tearing it, since I do work on watercolor paper and Bristol vellum paper. And there we go. And then you take your, where is it? Just had it. I need to clean my desk off, I swear. This is not the one I want, though. This is the small one. I want the larger one. Oh, I know where it is. It's in my pencil pouch. Just take, here you go, one of these. And I like this one versus this one. This has the smaller tip. These have this tip and that tip. I'm going to use that end. This is a little bigger, but I'm going to use this end. Actually, I'm going to use both, because I have to do the very tip. Okay, so what I do is just press on this onto the wood, just so I get the positioning right where I want it to go. I'm not going to do all the detail of the drawing, because that can be done with the paint. I really just make sure it went exactly where I wanted it to go. Now, if I was actually doing like the face or something, I would be more detailed. Okay, let's see how that turned out. Perfect. You can see right there, and there, and there. Okay, yeah. So we can take that off. And I can still use this tracing paper again. It was just a little bit used. Okay. Now, trying to think, will you be able to see if I turn the light back on? Should be able to. Let's see. Yeah, it's good enough. Okay. Now, I want these horns to be kind of like a beigey, tannish color. So I'm going to go ahead and just use the titanium white to go ahead and do them in. And just kind of go ahead and get that started. I think I want to use a flat angle brush too. Where are you? There you go. angled. A little water, loosen that. Because this is a very textured piece of wood. You have to really make sure your paint is loose, because you'll find yourself going over the cracks and crevices, like you see that, where it didn't go in all the way. Which is fine first go around, but I want to kind of get a look at these. I want that. If you go with the grain, you do a better job filling it in. I've never used this type of wood before. It just the grain looks so pretty. I'll show it to you. I have some for another project I'm going to work on. Same project, but for another piece I'm going to work on. This is like, I don't know, 12 by 24, maybe. Is that 12 by 24? I'm hoping that's what it is. It was left over from something I had cut another way. Yep, 12 by 24. This is 18 by 24 here. So yeah, that's what it looks like. And this is the grain that really, oh man, inspires me. This piece, because I covered a lot of it up, you know. But here, I think on this one, I'm going to really do a wash over the entire thing, one color, and then go back in and just highlight this area here and have a face or half of a face or something coming out there. Something. I don't know. But I'm going to definitely on that piece allow whatever happens with the wood to speak to me and inspire me, versus starting off with the drawing and then, you know, that's what I did here. I did her face and her body first, or her upper body first, and then went back in and added the color on top of her head. I did like just half a head, as you can, it was not like a whole head, it's just the silhouette. Yeah. So I've gotten a lot of feedback that a lot of you prefer the real time versus the time lapse. So that's good. That's good. Because editing time lapse videos is daunting. That's why I never upload any, because I just don't feel like doing that, you know. This is the part I like, the actual creating. And sometimes, like I had mentioned before, I get so caught up in the creating, and I don't even realize the camera's not running anymore. I got far along into it, and you done missed a lot, and then it's just like, forget it. They'll see that painting on my website, you know. I messed up the process. I guess I could have uploaded some of the process and then showed you the finished product, but I don't know. Yeah, I could have probably did it that way. I'm just kind of just getting rid of the dark that you see. Although I do want this horn to look kind of old, so some of it is okay. like a bone color. Kind of like the color of an aged skeleton. I like those fake white ones you see. Ones look kind of ivory, but aged ivory. Which is when, I think when I put the ridges in there, that'll give it a nice effect that I'm looking for. Kind of almost like it looks on here, you know. So, I think I got that. I mean, it's just the first layer, so that looks pretty good. And then we're going to do number 2. Or number 2. Right. And I'm probably going to go back in with the hair colors. And it's not hair, but you know what I mean. And just so it looks like it's covering up some of the horn. And once I add her actual strands of hair, it'll really be pretty. I want to kind of finish her face in oils just to give it a richer, creamier skin tone. And I did a portrait last week. Well, it wasn't last week. It was last week that I gave it to her, but it wasn't last week that I don't know. Anyway, I did a portrait that I finished last week. And I finished it last Monday. And dropped it off to her that evening. And Tuesday, I did that one. It was acrylic background, abstract graphics, nice wash. It was on wood, so I emphasized the grain in the wood and everything. Then I did him in acrylics, but his skin just wasn't giving me that creaminess that I wanted. And I wanted him, because it was a portrait, to look more realistic, not just part of the painting. I wanted him to stand kind of forward. So I did finish him in oils. It was my first time. Oh man, I loved it. I fell in love with it. The good thing is, because it has a slow drying time, because oils have a slow drying time, you get to work it more, you know, without adding more layers of paint, just feeling like you're kind of messing up what you already have done. With the oils, you could do thin layers, which you could do with acrylics too, but they just dry so fast, so you don't have a lot of room for error. It's just paint, yes, so you can go back over it, but I find that with the oil, I had to tweak a whole lot less. So, that being said, I like doing the skin tones in oil. Will I ever do an entire painting in oil? Probably so. But because this is a last minute group show that I'm doing, I want to ensure that the painting is relatively dry to the touch before the install. So I got to get this face done tonight, so it'll have a few days to do that. Or else I'm in trouble. I really want to get rid of that graphite line there. So that's why I was kind of going back over that spot. Loosen this up. A little water. There we go. This is a nice thick titanium white. Nice opaque titanium white too, because some brands will not have them. I can use their generic paints or their student grade paints on some colors, and then other colors, it's like, no, this needs to be the artist grade. Okay. So those are going to be the horns. Yep. Like that. And I'm going to go ahead and